Hello my Wolfpack and welcome to a brand new series on the channel. When I say brand new, it is a continuation of a series that has been going on the channel for a very long time. We are continuing on with our Pokemon Competitive Guide videos. Now today we are starting off in the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl era with Torterra. Now Torterra is obviously the first Pokemon in the Pokedex, so it makes sense to cover this one first. Now Torterra, huge attack stat, base 109, really good on its defense with 105 and 95 HP, and then base 85 in special defense isn't too bad. Even base 75 special attack is usable on a spec scenario, but I haven't given any spec scenarios because realistically all attacking is physical attacking is better. Now base 56 speed is interesting. One, it can work quite well because it allows it to underspeed a few mons. So if you get a Trick Room scenario with Torterra, that can work really well for you. It also has access to Rock Polish, so it can outspeed a lot of different Pokemon with one Rock Polish there as well. So you have kind of got two options there, which do work really nicely for you. Now today I've got 4 sets. The first set, as you can see on the screen, is a Swords Dance set. Now I've put Swords Dance and leftovers, but you can replace that item with a Life Orb. Yachi Berry is a really good option to have on here to reduce any ice damage, because obviously you're 4 times weak to it. Other moves on here, we've got Earthquake, which is a powerful ground type attack. It's boosted by Stab, obviously hits a large variety of Pokemon. Commonly you're probably going to see things like Infernape and Empoleon. Both are Earthquake is super effective against. Then we've got Wood Hammer. Now if you don't want to run Wood Hammer because of the recoil aspect, you can run Seed Bomb instead. But I put Wood Hammer on here mainly because my 4th move is Synthesis, and that allows me to recover some of my health back. Now obviously if you're running this alongside something like Torkoal or Ninetales, which have access to Drought, then that is going to work really nicely to increase the amount of health recovered through Synthesis. Obviously, there are some problems with potentially setting this up, because obviously Ice types are definitely going to be a problem. But if you can deal with that, if you can set up a Trick Room up quite early, then one Swords Dance, realistically, Torterra is going to rip to shreds the opposing team. And then Synthesis there if you need to recover anything. EV-wise, max HP, max attack with an Adamant Nature, some more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. Now, if you're going to run this as a Trick Room sweeper, then I'd recommend going for max HP, max attack, and a Brave Nature. So Brave Nature increases the attack, minuses the speed, and 0 out the EVs on speed as well, just to make sure you're as slow as possible, because there are a lot of Pokemon that are slower than you that will probably just be running standard IVs that you'll be able to then underspeed. Ability wise, we have got Overgrown. Now I'm sure that the hidden ability is available. Shell Armor, you know, it has benefits and it has got costs as well. Obviously not being hit by a critical hit can be really helpful, especially when it comes to things like the Ushifus. But obviously they're not around in the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl situation right now, so I would recommend having Overgrow. I just feel that works slightly better over Shell Armor, but if you've got Shell Armor, then that's not really much of a worry there either. Move on to our second Torterra. We have got a Choice Band Torterra. Now Torterra actually gets quite a few nice attack coverage moves. So we've got Choice Banding here to increase up our attack by 1.5 times. That takes it from 350 to about I don't know, 525, I think that's 1.5 added onto it, I don't know. Try and do quick maths. Again, ability Overgrow, because it just works best in this situation. Move-wise, we've got Crunch, powerful dark type attack, hits a lot of different Pokemon, and Crunch does have the added benefit of this generation being neutral against Steel, when originally it was not. We have Earthquake, powerful ground type attack. Obviously, Earthquake just demolishes the vast majority of Pokemon in a lot of different situations. Seed Bomb, I have Seed Bomb over Wood Hammer here, but you could always go for Wood Hammer if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. And finally, Rock Slide, because that covers one fire types and 2 flying types, which are problematic for you. And also those annoying, pesky ice types are covered by super effective damage on Rock Slide as well. You can run Stone Edge. I personally like to run Rock Slide just for the accuracy, and I know my luck for accuracy, but if you want to run Stone Edge instead, you definitely have that as an option to run as well. Now EVs, I've gone the same as before, max HP, max attack, Adamant. You could always go for max HP, max attack, Brave. Obviously if you're going for the Trick Room scenario again, you could potentially run some speed EVs to try and outspeed base 60 Pokemon, so maybe running about 60 EVs and speed instead of in the HP. That would allow you to outspeed a few more Pokemon there. But the idea here is just to get a lot of damage off really quickly, and to just destroy the opponent's team. Obviously, get rid of any Ice-type Pokemon initially because they are going to be your biggest problem to deal with. Moving on to the third Torterra, I have gone for more of a support Torterra here. So we've got on here Leftovers, because Leftovers recovery is going to be very helpful here. Leech Seed as our first move. Now, Leech Seed I absolutely love using because it just can give you so many opportunities. One, if you've got a Pokemon that's set up, like sometimes you can cause the opponent to switch it out because of the dwindling health on it. You get some recovery at the end of every turn, especially if they've just gone for a setup move, which would be really helpful. You've got Stealth Rocks on here as well, which allows you to obviously cause problems for things like, I don't know, Infernape as it's coming in, Arcanine, for example, if that's coming in, because they do take damage on income. It renders a lot of sashes useless, which can be really helpful for you. Obviously, Bug, Flying, Fire, and Ice types are all going to take 25% damage at least. Ice types, obviously taking that lot of damage is going to be very helpful for you as well. And I've actually combined this with Raw. Now, Raw works really nicely in combination with setting up hazards. If you had a Pokemon that set up spikes and Toxic Spikes, so for example like Drapion alongside it, then Raw can work really nicely as a combination because you Raw out the Pokemon, you take a hit, you Raw out the Pokemon, you get another Pokemon in, they take the Stealth Rocks damage, the Spikes damage, and the Toxic Spikes damage, which would be absolutely gigantic on them. And if they don't have a Defogger, then obviously they're going to be in a pretty difficult situation when it comes to that. So Raw can be really helpful there. We've then got Earthquake is just your one hard-hitting move. Realistically, the ground-type move is going to cover more mons than the grass-type move, so going for the stab Earthquake is just going to be better in the vast majority of situations. EV-wise, max HP, max defense with an impish nature, so more defense, less special attack, and 4 EVs and attack to boost that Earthquake. You could always go for a split investment or more investment in special defense to go for more of a bulky tank idea, but definitely go for the defense. Can work really nicely. Torterra can then wall a lot of attacks from a lot of the really strong Pokemon in this meta. Moving on to the final Torterra we've got here. Now, I have put the Yachi Berry on here because Yachi Berry is one of the best berries to have on Torterra because it just reduces down the 4 times damage that you would get from the Ice-type attacks. Move-wise on here, I've gone for like a double up. I've gone for Rock Polish and Swords Dance. So Rock Polish is going to double your speed from 211 to 422, meaning you're going to outspeed the vast majority of Pokemon, if not all of the Pokemon in the BDSP Pokedex, assuming that it's not Choice Scarfed. You've then got Swords Dance to increase up your attack power. Now, obviously, this isn't a mandatory option. You can just put this as a coverage move instead, so things like Stone Edge or Rock Slide or even Crunch. So that's your coverage if you want to go for that instead of Swords Dance. I just thought that having the idea of Rock Polish and Swords Dance actually could be really destructive. Move-wise, I've gone for Earthquake and then C-Bomb. Now, the Wood Hammer didn't make sense because it just dwindles you down when you've already set up potentially 2 moves. And that could just be really detrimental if you're starting to dwindle your health as well. So C-Bomb was the best thing that I saw fitting here. EV-wise, I went for max attack and max speed with an adamant nature, so I went for the more attack, less special attack. I didn't go for the plus speed because I thought realistically it's going to outspeed the vast majority of Pokemon. If you are really concerned, and obviously you can see something like Weavile outspeeding it, then obviously please do go for the plus speed Jolly Nature, but it's entirely up to you what you decide to go for. Realistically, these are just guides, these are just supports for you in building your own team. If you want to change them up, obviously please do. These aren't the best sets ever. These are just some guidance on some sets that I think would work really well. In fact, I've used the majority of these sets and they have worked really well in the past. And I definitely really recommend checking them out, maybe tweaking them slightly to your own personal style. But anyways, that is going to be all for today. Please could you make sure you